have been fascinated with the unknown and paranormal realms since childhood. After a profound experience with my grandmother's spirit 20 years ago, I have been on a quest to observe, study, investigate, and communicate with the afterlife and beyond. It's been an ongoing journey of exploration and discovery, one that has taught me how mortality and the spirit world are forever bonded through the veils of time.
Welcome to another episode of the Afterlife Chronicles. I am your host, Nicole Strickland, and you are listening to us on the WLTKDB.com network, or you can get there by visiting theletstalk.com. You can join the chat room right in there, sign in through Facebook, do what you have to do. So I hope everyone's doing well tonight. I'm looking forward to tonight's show because I have two old friends with me, Nicole Tito and Lisa Krick from the American Spectral Society, and they have their own website, Ghostly Voices. It's fabulous. If you're very much into EVP and ITC, then definitely go visit their site. Lots of great captures there. So I'm really looking forward to talking to them tonight, specifically about the Estes Method, which is a very experimental instrumental transcommunication method. So welcome to the show, Lisa and Nicole. How are you? It's been so long.
I know. We are well.
Oh. Awesome. Yeah. Really looking forward to having you on. So I do want to start because just to let everyone know that I met Nicole and Lisa back, I think it was 2008, 2009-ish, at a Ghost Research Society meeting, Dale Kaczmarek's Ghost Research Society. And we teamed up for some investigations at Waverly Hill Sanatorium. Let's see, there was a bowling alley. I think it was in Robinson, Illinois. And then, of course, at Troy Taylor's Haunted America Conference, we teamed up for an investigation, and we were down in the basement area, teaming up for an EVP session. Now, going based on rote memory here, but the Lincoln Theater in Decatur, Illinois, yes. I think it was built in 1916, if I remember.
Correct. I do remember that. Originally, I believe, Lisa, wasn't at a hotel, and then it did have a series of fires, and then they rebuilt it. So it might have even been, the original structure might have been even prior to 1960.
Yeah, I think it was a hotel. Right.
The land right there, there had been a lot of issues, I guess you would say, because I believe there were two different fires at one point. But
that's what I read too, and I guess it's not known 100% if Harry Houdini performed there. I guess there was another magician. I forget. Harry was the first name, but I forget the last name.
Blackstone
or something. Yeah. So anyways, there is history of magicians and illusionists performing there. So Nicole, Lisa, and I were down in the basement during our late night investigation, and we got this fabulous EVP. I believe it was captured on my recorder, Nicole's recorder, but not your recorder, which makes it very interesting. So we're going to go ahead and cue that. It's called, the name of the actually capture of the EVP is the name of the EVP. So we're going to go ahead and play that. Hopefully everyone can hear it, and then we'll discuss it after it's done.
What are you going to perform tonight? Magic. What are you getting ready for?
Hello.
What are you going to perform?
My coworker.
Tonight? Magic. What are you getting ready for? Magic.
All right. So obviously you can hear the question there. What are you getting ready for? And then that male sounding, robotic sounding magic is the actual Class A EVP. Yep. And then obviously you can tell that we're not really responding to it because we continue to ask questions after that.
No, because we had commented on that one.
Correct.
Who said that? Because it was a room full of women.
I know. There was no,
just the three of us, yeah. And you can tell, Nicole was asking the question, obviously. What are you going to perform here tonight? And it's interesting because there's a delay and it talks as she's talking. So, it's not Nicole, and Lisa and I have pretty distinct voices. It does not. So,
we sent this EVP. Actually, Dale sent this EVP off to some professional. I don't know who it was, just to prove that it was an EVP, and it registered at below human level voices. Right. I sent it to one of my friends who works in radio, and he goes, "There's no way that a ghost did that." He goes, "Even my talk shows aren't that good."
I love it.
And then, also we sent it to Erica Behringer, who has investigated with us in the past, and she goes, and we didn't even know that it could be Harry. It was Harry Blackstone. Yeah, we didn't even know it could have been him. And she goes, "That sounds like Blackstone." We're like, "What are you talking about?" She goes, "That's
really?"
So she said she's heard she's heard audio of him, and that it sounded like him. And I just went, "Oh, yeah."
Oh my gosh.
Does that make it even better?
Yeah, that's amazing. I mean, it would be really cool to almost take a clip of him talking, and then actually that
would be interesting.
But if she heard his voice then and can say, "Wow, that sounds like him," then there you go. I mean, it's just such a fabulous capture. And the three of us have investigated, many other places. And it's I've had other profound captures like you guys have as well, but that's just something that just always stands out.
This is probably the most clear. And no one ever really argues what it's saying. It's magic. It's clear. And for people who don't,
exactly.
And then for people who don't know us, when Lisa and I review things, we really don't do anything to our audio. We don't slow it down. We don't play it backwards. We really don't. We may amplify the volume, but that's it. I don't
isolate anything.
No, I don't. I don't. I just clip the cut or clip it and send it to what people think. Yeah.
That's what I do too. Yeah. I may, like you guys, amplify, but I think the more you play with it, the more it's distorted. And I think, in its original form is, I think, almost the best. Mm-hmm. So just had to just play that again because that was just such a fabulous memory and such a great capture. Now I've used the Estes method for instrumental transcommunication a few times, not as much as you guys have. So I really want to get your take on it and opinions on it, and maybe if you could share some of your profound captures with it. So how long have you been using the Estes method?
Couple of years. At least a couple of years. Yeah, probably 2 years.
I said probably about 2 years. I think our first one was Crown Point Jail in Crown Point, Indiana. And I think that was around March 2019. So we're coming up to 2 years with this.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. And for those that don't know, it's a experimental instrumental transcommunication methodology that was developed by 3 researchers at the Stanley Hotel in Estes Park, Colorado. Off the top of my head, I don't remember their names. It would have been professional of me to list them so I could mention them on tonight's show, but they're on the internet. So
I have them here.
She's prepared.
There you go. Carl Pfeiffer, Kara Connor Randall, and Michelle Tate.
Okay, that's right. So
it is listed on our website. So when you go under Estes Method, just a little background, because kudos.
Yeah, that's right. You guys have a really good background. Oh yeah, super creative to create something like that. So for those that aren't necessarily that knowledgeable about it, how would you describe what it is and how to go about using it in paranormal research?
The vanilla way to use it is you have one receiver and one operator, and the receiver is the person who has headphones that cover your ears. You can't use earbuds because too much noise can get in, so you want your ears completely covered. I use drummers' headphones. They're isolating, but they're not canceling, because you don't want to cancel in case you get any ghosty voices coming through.
That's true.
The receiver has the headphones on. They also should have a blindfold on. We trust each other, so we don't use the blindfold. We just keep our eyes closed. But honestly, you should be wearing the blindfold too. And then you have an operator who asks questions so that the receiver can't hear anything you're asking. The receiver on the headphones is tuned into a white noise device, we use an SB7 because it tends to pull the easiest. That's the vanilla way to do it. We like to use what we call a double. So Nicole and I will both be under on our own SB7s on our own headphones. And then we have at least one more person who is an operator who asks questions in the room. But normally it's two people who ask questions. And we get banter back and forth and ignore, and we don't even know we're doing it. So we'll have conversations back and forth. Now we have thrown in this year something even cooler.
So cool.
Remote Estes. So since not everybody could get out and do the ghosting, I was still doing my, I do paranormal investigations for Troy Taylor. So I have like Indiana locations and a little bit of surrounding areas. So when I do that, I will go to that location and I will be a receiver there.
Cool.
Normally, Nicole or Al in Chicago will be a receiver at their house so that they have a person there to tap out. And then our friend Jim in Northern Indiana will be an operator. So he's asking questions. And then one of the people in Chicago is asking questions. And I'm at the haunted location underneath. And it works.
It
I don't know how it works, but we'll do it like this. We do it on Facebook Messenger and we do video, and Nicole hooks it up so that she records it on her big TV of all of us on Messenger. And they've caught me at Randolph County Infirmary. I'm answering questions and you see movement behind me. There's a shadow behind me, and then my video cuts out for a minute and then it comes back, and Jim's had stuff move on him while he's asking questions, and he goes, "Wait a minute." And he looks down and we go, "What's wrong?" And he's like, "My computer cord just moved. There's nobody out here but me."
Oh, whoa.
Yeah.
Love it when that happens.
Yeah.
And for people out there that don't know it, obviously the people with the headphones on, they don't hear any of the questions. Mm-hmm. I mean, so that's what's interesting. I don't hear what Lisa's hearing and vice versa. So to get that banter is very amazing.
It is amazing. And I think it plays into almost like it goes to show that telepathic communication can really, I think, be effective in communicating with the spirit realm, because I think it's bringing a little bit of that in. And then, of course, you're not it diminishes the power of suggestion and all the bias with the blindfold and the receiver. And then I think allows us with the white noise to kind of tap into, I guess, a frequency maybe of their level.
Yeah. Another place that we did this, we tweaked it a little bit. I'm telling you, I love this method and I tweak it whenever I can.
Awesome.
I was at the Monroe House, which is also called the Demon House. It's in Northern Indiana. I was there with Richard Estes, Richard Estes and his crew. And what we did there were 3 of us girls, and they put us under, and there were 2 guys. And what they did was they took us, we were upstairs, and all we knew is that we were upstairs. And they started us in the kitchen, and they put our equipment on, and they spun us around so we didn't know where we were. And then they guided us blindfolded to a location. We didn't know what we were going to. Then they asked questions, and we still got it right. It was so cool. It was
that
so
is
cool.
like so. That's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. Just the things you can do to tweak this and still have it work. It boggles my mind that it actually does work.
Oh, and my advice to people, too. And when we first started using it, I think we weren't as successful. And then I think as we start to use it more and more, it became easier for us. So I tell people, if you try it 1 or 2 times, it doesn't work, still keep trying it, and sometimes switch people up, because sometimes it seems like it works really well when me and Lisa are either asking questions or receiving, and then vice versa. Like in Crown Point, it seems to really like our friend Jim Williams. So a lot of times when he's under and my husband, we get good responses. So I think it just depends on like the flow with some people and just play around with it.
Trust your vibes.
Yeah. And if you're not getting something, we tell people, pull yourself out after a couple of minutes. You don't have to sit on it. And we don't recommend sitting on it for hours and hours. You start to go a little boggly too after a while. Usually,
I can imagine.
With the with the white noise on. Usually a lot of times we have really good successful sessions that are like 8 to 15 minutes. And then after a while, case in point, our last time we went to Crown Point, we had to pull Lisa out because she was physically being affected. And that audio is up on our website, but she literally had to leave the building and sit outside for a couple minutes.
They're all going back and forth and doing their thing, and I'm literally whimpering, and then somebody goes, "Oh, is Lisa okay? Should we pull her out?" And I was like, "I need to get out of here."
Let's not forget about Lisa. No. Like I said, I've used it a few times. I really want to use it more. And I like the way that you're tweaking it and trying different things. I think that is so amazing. So
you don't need to have any sort of sensitive psychic ability, because Lisa is obviously a little more sensitive and psychic. I have none of those abilities, and I'm kind of more on the skeptic side. So when we first started doing this, I was like, and we get stuff.
She's got more ability than she does.
I was just gonna say, because I believe that every person has the ability to be a psychic medium or to be intuitive. I just think some people are more tapped into it, or maybe they're more willing to be open to it. But I think both of you are sensitive, and both of you have such a good mojo when working together. It almost reminds me of Ali Schreiber and myself here in San Diego. Ali's part of the San Diego Paranormal Research Society. So, it's like when you have that connection, and pretty much everyone on your team, the American Spectral Society, gets along. There's that camaraderie that goes a long way, very long way.
Yeah.
So you guys mentioned that sometimes with the Estes method, it works better with males versus females. What do you think the reasonings are for that?
It's just whoever we're making contact with on the other side. It's who are they comfortable talking to? That's
true. Yeah, exactly. Maybe certain personalities click and that sort of thing. So,
like at the Crown Point jail, and because Jim has such good rapport there, it's because there's an inmate there who has the hots for him. I'm not kidding. Dead woman has the hots for him, and we think she may even have followed him home at one point.
Oh my gosh. Really? Yeah. Did he? I wonder if he's been aware of that or not.
Oh, he's aware.
Oh, yeah.
He's aware.
Oh.
So we've been helping him through it. So I think it's gotten better. It became apparent in one of our investigations about a month ago, because we were we weren't even there. Yeah. We were in Illinois somewhere, and she came through there, and we're like, whoa. Yeah. You need to back off, lady.
Where's Jim? Oh, it's kind of cute in a way, though, when you think about it.
Yeah, except she killed her whole family. That's not cute.
Oh, well.
She poisoned her family for insurance. So
that's not okay. So, I wasn't aware of that before. So.
She just wasn't in jail for the heck of it, but.
Oh, my gosh.
It wasn't just prostitution. It was death.
That's pretty sad. That's extremely heinous.
It was like 5 people too. It was quite a lot.
Kids and everyone. Like,
Like, what was it? 3 kids, 4 kids, and a husband. Yeah,
husband, and then I almost thought to say one of our brothers too. It was like the whole.
Oh my gosh! Don't even get me started on that. That's terrible. It's just so heinous. So we have about a minute or so until break. So. Actually, you know what? Let's go ahead and take a break now, because it's kind of pointless to talk about something for like 30 seconds and then have to break. So we're going to take a break for a couple of minutes. Back, you are listening to the Afterlife Chronicles radio show with guests Nicole Tito and Lisa Krick from the American Spectral Society. Be right back.
We are controlling transmission. WLTK DB. Let's talk.
Maggie Reiki is a full-service Reiki therapy center offering both in-person and distance Reiki sessions. Reiki is a gentle healing energy that can assist in clearing, repairing, and maintaining energy that is vital for optimal health. Reiki can also assist with anxiety, depression, and even addiction. You can schedule a Reiki session by visiting our website, www.mackeyreiki.com. That's www.mackeyreiki.com.
Patreon is a place for creators. We're one of them. Visit our Patreon page at patreon.com/WLTKDB. Check out all the unique support tiers we offer. You can get early release episodes, station mugs and t-shirts, free station service work, and much more. Help the station reach its $1,000 per month goal to make our station totally ad-free. Patreon.com/WLTKDB. We appreciate your support.
"21 minutes past the hour, and you are listening to the Afterlife Chronicles Radio Show. I'm your host, Nicole Strickland. Tonight, I have my friends and colleagues from the Midwest, Lisa Krick and Nicole Tito, on, and we have been discussing the Estes Method, ITC, research experimental method. That was kind of a long drawn out. Estes Method, ITC research. Hello, I need to go to bed. Anyway, so let's continue that. I really want to hear some of the, if you're willing to share some of the profound captures that you've had with this method, things, captures that are just so profound that that there's definitely some sort of communication going on.
How long does this show last? We got.
I know, right? I know. It's only an hour. It's a little hour. It's one little hour, but no, we have about 40 minutes. So you know what? And I can always have you back on. So there's that. That's too.
True.
Yeah.
Wow. Where do we want to start?
I know, right? It's where do we start? What place do we start with?
I'm looking at our website now to kind of see. I feel like Crown Point's always been a good place for us. So
Mm-hmm.
we've probably done it 2 or 3 times already in Crown Point. The initial time when we got it, we were upstairs, and their second floor, kind of where they had for people that are familiar with, there's an area you can go to on the second floor, and you could sit in the various jail cells. So Lisa and I were kind of on each opposite end. We weren't in the actual cells. And
was this the Dillinger area?
Yes. Yes.
Area? Okay.
And me and Lisa were the receivers, and my husband and Jim were the operators. They were asking questions, and they were asking a lot of different things, what jail cell, things like that. And me and Lisa were going back and forth. I would say 7, and then literally a couple of seconds later, she would say 7. And then, Jim, one of our investigators, he would start walking, and one of us would be stop. And then the other one would be turn around behind you. It was really quite interesting because, again, when we're doing it, we don't know if we're getting anything. So we're just kind of saying things this might be relevant or not. And we always try to say it how it comes through. So if somebody screams it, we'll scream it.
Oh, very good point.
Yeah.
Very good
and
point.
if we feel like if it's relevant, if we should say it's a male or female, we might say oh, that's a male. Or sometimes we just have that, really sometimes where I don't use a blindfold necessarily, but sometimes if I have a hoodie on, I'll put my hoodie down and I'll be this is Nicole. I feel like something's right in front of me. So sometimes we'll even say how we feel because it's we get those hairs rise up or ugh. But even sometimes we've had children come through and we'll be that voice was a child or that voice was angry because we feel the context is very important sometimes.
Oh, I agree. Very important.
I will say that when Nicole and I are doing this, if she says she's going to run her SB7 forward, then I'm going to run mine backward. Just so what are the odds? But just so the chances that we don't hit the same track at the same time. That's way, true. When I say 7 and she says 7 and I say 7 again, where the hell is that coming from? Mm-hmm. Because it's not the same. It's not. We're not hearing the same. I don't know. I can't explain it. It's magic. It's magic.
It seems to be magic.
We do have all these clips on our website. So when you go to the website, they're under evidence, and they're also under like the top link. There's a page just called Estes Method. So if you just want to go there and hear Estes Method, you can click on that and it'll take you to all the different clips. And to kind of go with Crown Point, like we said it earlier, our friend Jim Williams, there's the woman that we were talking about, her name is Anna. So there have been a few times where we'll get his name come through, like Jim, come upstairs, if we're on the first floor, or come here alone. And then, like we said, about a month ago, we went to the Will County Historical Society. It's a museum in Lockport, Illinois, and it's has a long history. It's right on the Idem Canal, which is a historical waterway in the Chicago area. No connection. She really should have never been there. Why? We were getting, Lisa and I were they have an annex building, which has a lot of cool old memorabilia. We were getting, all of a sudden towards the end, she came through, and it didn't really dawn on me at first because it was like, Jim. And we had another investigator with us at the time, Jim, as well. So we're like, okay, what's Jim? And then she started coming through, Anna, and that's her name.
Oh, wow.
And it's interesting. You can hear the clips on our website. Our friend Jim Williams was like, oh, hell no. Because then it said like alone upstairs. And there wasn't upstairs to that building. It's a creepy old little building. He's like, oh, I ain't going up there by myself, which eventually did. But
oh my gosh.
Again, it was almost like it was taunting him. And
sounds like
that was kind of scary. I mean, he's been working on, kind of clearing up his house. So it was weird that we got that at a completely different location. So Crown Point's always been a good one for us. And it seems like it likes our friend and investigator, Jim Williams. So we look forward to going back there. But a lot of times when he wears the headphones there, he doesn't get anything. It's like when he's asking the questions. So sometimes you have to play around with that as well.
He's true. Also a little hard of hearing.
He is hard of hearing, yes. Unfortunately, But he's gotten stuff at other places. And I don't think he has the patience as much. I'm not going to lie. I feel like he likes to ask the questions more. And I think that's why
he's good at it.
Yeah. So. Where my husband kind of goes back and forth. He does get a lot of good results.
He does.
When he's listening and when he's asking. So sometimes I think it's just the energy of the person. So I really think,
it could be preference, it could be energy, it could just be that particular day. But I think like if you gravitate to something, like if someone's more comfortable asking the questions, then absolutely. I'm wondering if there might be like a portal or some sort of I guess a portal there at the jail. I mean, I don't know. It sounds like it's.
I almost feel like we've been there so many times, even prior to Estes, because I mean, I've probably been there 6 times,
That's
or 7.
That's a lot.
It's very close to our home, and like our friend Jim. I mean, he lives 10 minutes away, so he's been there about 4 times, and I say relatively newer. He's a newer investigator. I mean, for the last 5-6 years. So I don't know if it's sometimes, but then there's places we've been to one time and we get things. So I don't know.
And who knows? I mean, it could be like you could not be at a location, but there could be energies from maybe 4 or 5 different locations almost communicating with each other to then what you guys know that they want to talk with you. So, and
at our last location, like I said, we did about a month ago at Will County Historical Society. At first we were getting almost like these people, like bankers almost. Like me and Lisa were kind of bickering with each other because they were asking us about can we get our taxes done, things like that. And Lisa was like, I think Lisa was the mean one. She's like, no, you can't. And then I was getting responses like, yeah, sure, come on. And then all of a sudden, the energy changed. It literally 2 minutes later, Anna, came in. So it was interesting because again, we were getting. It sounded like 2 bankers that were mad that me and Lisa were in this bank.
Well, and we wanted to go to the vault, and we were, well, let's go back to the vault. And they're like, no, you can't do that.
Yeah.
Whatever.
And this is a very, very old building. I mean, this building was built, I believe, in 1837. Don't quote me, but this is it's one of the oldest buildings, if not,
that is
Illinois.
Quite old. Yeah.
Very
old.
Yeah. So it's a very interesting building. If people are ever in that area, check it out because it is a functioning museum as well, and they're great in there. It's free admission, but they have a lot of
really
cool things in there. A lot of cool things.
I bet they get a lot of different teams coming in as well, too. Maybe? No?
Really?
You guys. Which, I mean, that's beneficial though, because sometimes, having a lot of teams going in and, with different methodologies and all that, it can kind of pollute things. But, it sounds like a really, really fascinating location.
It is. It's very cool. And they have a lot of artifacts and they keep finding more and more. They have a lot of storage areas and it's a cool location because it's downtown Lockport, a lot of old buildings because the I&M Canal was the Illinois-Michigan Canal and it connected everything prior to the railroad. So
I love old. There's just something.
And it's limestone. I mean, we all know limestone.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
They were doing the core. And it's honestly only about 8 minutes from Joliet Prison. So there's that whole connection.
Right.
Which is right down the road. Yeah, that triangle.
So like quartz and limestone or just limestone?
I've always just heard limestone, but that's
still though, that's
quartz has a lot of energy too. I don't know much about quartz, but
quartz
I just know
good energy.
Yeah. In the Chicago area, limestone is big, really.
Right. Yeah, we have a lot of quartz out here, but I both of them, I think, are amplifiers for sure. That's why I totally love using crystals and communicating with the beyond. And, it's weird, with the Estes method, it sounds like, and again, I've only used it a few times, but it sounds like for some reason it allows people's intuition and intuitive senses to come out more than just like a standard basic electronic voice phenomena session. That's kind of
shutting down your senses. Your sensory deprivation. It is, they're blinding you and they're deafening you, and your other senses, even though you're not used to them, are going to take over.
That makes sense, and that's probably why it's one of the reasons why it's so. What about, have you used it at Ohio State Reformatory at all? That's a place that, oh my gosh, I really want to visit.
The thing is, since we just started using it, 2019, I was pregnant, so then I was limited in going as many investigations, and now this year with the pandemic and everything, we really haven't been able to venture out with the new baby and things like that, but that's definitely on our list when we get back to there.
Definitely. Absolutely.
And even Waverly, I'd love to use it there as well. I just feel like the energy, and we've always gotten really good evidence there.
Waverly is fantastic.
Even Lincoln Theater. I'd love to use it at Lincoln Theater. It'd be interesting to see. It would even be interesting because it's so open for those of you who know the theater. Like if Lisa were to maybe even sit on the stage and I sat up in the balcony, the operators could still probably hear each other because it's so open that we could it'd be interesting to see. Because last time we were there, Lisa again was affected by something when we were up in the balcony area.
Yeah, I'm not sitting in the balcony again.
But this one's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like we get a lot of good things there. That would be really interesting to do it there. And for those naysayers, my husband particularly, Al, he's working on, like I was saying earlier when I was talking with Nicole, he's working on a splitter where he wants to connect it so it's recording what you can hear on the Radio Shack Hack or the Spirit Box, so then you can hear what I'm hearing.
Okay.
Which would be interesting because we do have a clip up on the website from last month, and I pulled myself out. I was in the building. I was under, and our friend Jim was under, and Lisa was asking questions. And I pulled myself out because I'm like, I'm not really getting anything. And the headphones were around my ears, around my neck, excuse me, and they were pretty loud. You can actually hear a response, and I captured it on a recorder. Like it said, like, "Good morning," or
wow.
Good morning, madam," and that's clips on there. You can hear us react to it. So, I know some people are skeptic, like, they're just saying whatever they're just saying, making stuff up. We're getting stuff on there. And
you know what? I mean, there's always going to be skeptics.
I know, but I love when you could be like, here you go.
Exactly. I mean, if you're consistently getting profound, convincing captures, I mean, that's definitely something to look at, One experiment that I did, I'm wondering if this can be applied to it in some way or another, is I actually recorded, and I did this on the Queen Mary. I actually had two recorders, and so I asked a preset list of questions, and so I recorded those on both recorders, and then how do I explain this? And so then after doing that, I listened to that to make sure there weren't any disembodied voices or I didn't hear any or any EVPs that came through, voices that aren't heard in real time, only heard upon playback. And once I knew that there wasn't anything really noteworthy, I actually I took both recorders in the pool area. And so I played the recording of the questions I asked with one recorder, and then had the other recorder to record that recording. And sure enough, I got an EVP in the pool area. So, it goes to show that cool. Experimentation. It was a little distorted, the sound. It was definitely something came through. I think it was, if I remember correctly, it was an old woman. And I think I was singing a song or something, and I said, "Oh, do you like my singing?" And of course it sucks, but the woman was like, "No," and you could hear that on. And so it was kind of a humorous.
You're like, rude.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, rude. Yes. But yeah, I mean, I'm wondering if there's a way to maybe adapt that in some way or another to the Estes method, like maybe record a session somehow and then play that recorded session if this makes sense at all. As an experiment, I don't know, but maybe something. I think it would be hard to do, with the receiver, because that's not necessarily recorded for, for people to listen to. So that might be difficult. But I really like the fact that you guys are tweaking it and doing different things with it. So, okay, all right, let's keep the stories going. And what are some other real cool, spine-tingling, awesome, profound captures?
I would say also, I don't know can I keep talking, Lisa? I'm sorry.
Go for it.
Randolph County. So that's in Randolph County. We've been there a couple times. Lisa's been there a little bit more. Their basement area is very creepy.
They have a crawler that crawls on the ceiling in the basement.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I haven't seen it yet. But in that location now, Al, my husband, got a lot of I don't want to say feedback, but he was the receiver and he was getting a lot of stuff coming through the SB box. And Lisa and myself were asking questions, mostly Lisa, because she was kind of getting more responses from Al. And that's another thing. Sometimes one person, even though you're both asking questions, maybe Lisa's getting more answers. So she'll take the lead, just like with an EVP session. Sometimes if you're feeling it more, you might just have one person take the lead and the other one kind of just sits back.
Right.
I've probably been there like 10 or 15 times though. Yeah. So they know me there.
Correct.
I mean, right. I walk in and they go, something happens to me every time I go in there. I'll be sitting there, the door to that goes from the front area back to where the inmates stayed. Well, the door handle turned and I went, oh, they're back from their tour already and they're getting ready to go investigate. And it opened a little bit and I didn't hear anything. And I went, okay, maybe the wind just caught it. And then it shut. And I went, they've got to be there. And then I hear the buzzer from downstairs, which meant they were in the basement all the way at the other end of the building. And I'm like,
oh, okay. Yeah, there you go.
You guys are playing with me.
Yes, they are. Hello, Lisa.
So yeah, that place, I think, because it knows me, because I've been there so many times, it doesn't mind me asking questions. I darken their scribe there too. And
when we were in the basement hallway, Jim Williams, our investigator, again, he gets a lot of stuff that happens to him. He started walking down the hallway by himself. And then I was getting things like stop, turn around, soldier. And it was saying a lot of relevant things to him.
It said Iraq too.
It did say Iraq. And again, Al Al didn't know that Jim was walking down because like I said, we do keep our eyes closed and we don't look. And the only time is if we really pull ourselves out, if we're uncomfortable, if we're not really getting anything, because to pull ourselves out, like a lot of times our investigators will just shine a flashlight in our eyes, because if somebody comes up to you and touches you,
I scream.
Oh, I can imagine.
So we usually just shine a light in people's eyes, like saying, hey, we're done, pull yourself out. But Al was getting like turn around, stop, behind you. And the clips are pretty funny. If you listen on the website, he's like, okay. And you can kind of hear him like almost run back.
There's so many on your website. It's like, folks, go to their site, ghostlyvoices.com, right?
Yes.
Ghostlyvoices.com.
Yeah,
there's so many
voices.com.
Yeah. Ghostly-voices.com. There's so many captures on there. So if you're one that gravitates toward the audio methodology, then yes, that site's for you. I mean, it's just, when I started in the field, I always gravitated more toward audio like that. I'm happy doing that. You know, that's just my thing. So
people show me pictures and I go, what is it I'm supposed to be seeing in this? Because I don't see anything in this.
I know, right? All the time.
But give me something to listen to and I'm like, oh, no, this is what I hear.
Yes, exactly. Right. I know. Oh my gosh.
And we don't pretend to be experts. I mean, we just try different things. And if it works, go with it.
That's the way to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody, regardless of how long you've been doing this or what you're doing, everybody's got their little area that works best for them. I have dowsing rods. They don't work for me. They work for my sister, but for me, they just go steady in my hand. Everybody's got a different thing. Ours
that is so true.
Happens to be audio. Yeah.
Right. Absolutely. It's like, and I think sometimes the type of equipment picks you almost. It's like going into a store and you have, or like a gem and crystal store, and there's all these gems and crystals. It's like, the right one that's supposed to go home with you is going to go home with you.
Yeah.
So, it's so fascinating hearing these stories. It's amazing. And the Rancho Buena Vista Adobe here in San Diego, well, actually it's Vista, California, which is 30 minutes north. That's a site that Allie and I have investigated a lot. We run tours there, and we do use the SB7 there, just standard ITC sessions there. And we've had some amazing, amazing results. I mean, the same voice is coming through, relevant answers pertaining to our questions, words and phrases that match the history of the building. So I think whenever you can get that's on a consistent basis, that's something definitely really cool.
And the interesting thing is, we were talking about too, you could catch EVPs with this as well.
Yes.
So, as Lisa was talking about earlier, we did a remote session this year. I believe it was in May. So Lisa was at Randolph County and we were at home, and we do have this clip. We caught something at my house saying watch. And
that's when that shit moved. That's when that stuff moved behind me. That's when the shadow moved behind me because it said watch, and then somebody goes, look behind her. Yeah.
Oh,
and
man.
We do have that. We have that actual video clip on the website. It's really interesting. And it never pixelated the entire time. And we were talking for like a good hour and a half, 2 hours. So at that exact, you'll hear the EVP say watch, and then Lisa's screen behind her. It's like something moves behind her.
Yeah. When you can get two pieces like that, that's like two pieces of the puzzle right there. I love when that happens. It doesn't happen all that often.
And that was remote. I think that was our very first remote.
I think it was.
Yeah.
We're
like, we'll try it.
Yeah.
What's your what has been your most recent case study investigation? I know with COVID-19.
With Estes?
With Estes,
Yeah, so that was Will County, the one.
Will County, okay.
Yeah. So that was last month in December, early December.
Okay.
What was our most recent remote? What did we do? I don't think you guys. Bel Air was with you guys, but
you did one with Jim.
I did one with Jim from Whispers Estate, and that was on Halloween. And it was
that's
a place I want to go to too.
It's a dark little place.
That's what I've heard. I've heard that it was a very in-depth kind of negative sort of.
One of the young girls was making a little bit of fun as we were all tromping down the stairs, and she got pushed down the last 3 stairs.
Oh no.
Fell down on her hands and knees, and I'm like, I told you to one.
Did she actually feel hands on her back actually push her? And did you guys see her actually?
Yes. Yes, we were all there. I mean, there were for some reason in that location. That's one of those places where you can't just go off by yourself. Everybody tends to like get into a little. It's like girls going through a haunted house. Everybody's up on everybody else.
Oh my gosh!
And so there were probably 7 or 8 of us, and we were going down to the front parlor to do an investigation down there, and she got pushed. And I'm like, are you okay? And she said, yeah. And I said, what did you just say before that happened? and she said something. She said I was making fun of blah blah, and I forget what she said, and I went, "Oh, that's exactly why."
I mean, that's a lot of
here. Don't do that here.
Right. I mean, that's a lot of energy. I mean, you know, I've been touched before. I've had like my hair pulled. I'm sure you guys have as well, or like taps on the back. But to actually be pushed, I mean, that doesn't happen that often. That's, you know, rare. But it just, whoever did that obviously didn't like, you know, her making fun of whoever she was making fun of. So,
and my sister was there with me that night, because usually I need somebody to pull me out, because I'm an idiot and I don't do that myself.
You are not.
I go pretty far down in. I've actually gone far enough down in while I was under the Estes Method that I've been jumped. So I don't like to do that. So I bring somebody with me to pull me out. My mom actually for Christmas bought me a, I'm showing it because radio, look at the radio. She bought me a cross to wear. She goes, you get pale and you scare me.
Oh my God. Hey,
I said, okay.
I mean, any talisman that is going to work. I mean, I brought in pictures with me as talismans. I mean,
I take my crystals all the time. I always take my crystals, but I said, Mom, I will wear the cross, but if I don't get anything anywhere, I'm going to take the cross off. So I start getting stuff again.
Oh my gosh. I love it.
But when we were at Whispers and my sister was with us and we went down to the front parlor, and apparently she was antagonizing, and I don't know what she was saying, but every time she'd say something, because my sister's the biggest skeptic in the world, she's very scientific, and you can put a ghost in her face and go, this is a ghost, and she's no.
Right.
So anyway, she's asking these antagonistic questions, and apparently I'm going, no. She'd ask something and I go, no, and I don't know what I'm saying to her, but I was shutting her down all over the place, and then at one point I remember saying something like, you need to shut up now. I mean, all this came through
especially in a place like that. I mean, it's like, you know, I mean, why add fuel to the fire, so to speak? But
yeah. And I haven't given that audio yet to Nicole. She's like, give it to me so I can listen to it. I just haven't had time.
Oh my God.
On the website.
I know, I'm a bad girl.
No, I mean, we're all so busy, and like with COVID and everything, it's just crazy. So, okay, so we have a little under 15 minutes left in the show. And of course, I want to have you guys back on sometime in the near future. But since this show is about, you know, the afterlife and the connection between the spirit realm and the afterlife, is there a profound experience? I mean, it doesn't even have to be with the Estes Method, just a very profound, inspirational experience that you've had with the spirit realm that you would like to share.
This where you make us cry? Is this the part that we?
Hey! It's if you want to cry, it's up to you.
Because you know where we're going with this. You know we'll go to Rosemary with this, because
of course.
She touched every one of us, all three of us.
I know,
very profoundly.
Yep, she's come through, and she's come through for all three of us.
Yeah,
yep.
And more than once after I've got chills. Thank you, Rosemary. See, she's doing it again.
I got chills now too. That's kind of funny.
Hello, Rosemary.
I love it.
Well, that was interesting because I had a dream in early May, and she had come through, very vivid. And when I woke up, my husband was like, write it down. So I wrote everything down. And then when we were doing it, I probably was Randolph County, when we were doing that Estes Method, her voice, I swear to God, came through, and I was listening.
Of course,
and it said like spirit, and it said like 8. I want to say it said like 829 or something. So I was like sitting there, and then it dawned on us we were all meeting on August 29th at Crown Point.
Oh,
and we had tried to contact her when we were there. Nothing came through, but it was interesting. I mean, and the dream I had with her, I mean, it was just very interesting. It was a long dream. I mean, I have a lot of things written down, but like it was her. I her, you know, and it was like she had a hard time talking, but she kept smiling. It was interesting. And she had a letter that I couldn't read, and I woke up, like I felt like I read some of it, and then when I woke up, I couldn't remember it, and I was like, we should get like hypnotized and see if you remember what it says.
I am sure
That
she'll
would be-
come through again for you. I mean, I almost take that 829 as her way of maybe saying, I was with you. I was with your group when you guys
That's
gathered
true.
on 829. That's kind of just something I got when you said that, but I don't know. But I felt her presence too. I mean, there was just, I think it was a couple of months ago, I was typing on my computer and I clearly felt her, like I just knew it was her, you know, I mean, you just know. And I kind of got teary eyed and I got the goosebumps and yeah, it was just a very overwhelming, but a very peaceful feeling.
Yeah. 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 I think that she's going to stay with us. And honestly, I think she's probably going to be one of our guides. I know they say your guides are people that you've probably never met and blah, blah, blah. No, because my grandma's one of my guides. And I think Rosemary is probably definitely guides for all of us. So.
Oh, I think so too. I mean, she's guiding all of us just because she's unlocked the secrets now. She knows, and I think she's trying to help all of us, and especially those that she knew really well. I mean, you guys knew her more than I did. I mean, I was blessed to have the chances to investigate with her at Waverly Hills. And then the time the three of us drove to the Queen Mary when you came out.
Oh my God, we spent the night on the Queen Mary.
Yeah, that was so
fun.
So much fun. But
here's Nicole Strickland snoring in the other bed, and I'm like, okay, there's hangers moving in the closet. Okay, the doorknob is jiggling. Nicole, wake up! And you're like,
they're like, oh, Lisa, I'm going to show you, and that's the claims. That's what happens on the Queen Mary, folks, in the staterooms. Oh yes, water faucets turn on, drawers open up. You can feel people laying or sitting on the bed. I mean, the hangers in the closet move. You name it. Portholes sometimes open up, and those are heavy. So. Yeah. I mean, I just think it's hard. You know, I found out that Rosemary passed not this last July, obviously, but the July before, and I was up in the Pacific Northwest, and I was doing a project up there, and I kind of had to put a lot of my emotions on hold until after. And then after, I just remember bawling. You know, I just can't believe she's, you know.
I still can't. There's still times I want to email her and go, hey, can you help with, oh crap.
Right.
Or I want a book or something about this. And I go, well, I'm sure Rosemary has it. Well, yeah, I can get it, but now it's not signed.
Right.
You know, I mean, I'm so horrible, but it's little things that you miss her for. It's just, I don't know.
She was a really incredible woman. And, you know,
and what makes me sad is that the younger people now are going to have no clue.
They're not going to know.
No clue, and what they're missing or what they even missed. All that knowledge.
Oh, I know. Knowledge. I mean, so much knowledge. And another reason why I respected her so much is she didn't put up with a lot of the BS in this field. You know, she just did her thing, and she really was like in the, you know, like you guys are, like I am, you know, and it's just so commendable. But I was. She
told us one time a long time ago. I don't know if you remember, Nicole. But she told us, she goes, "You guys are going to do some really good things, some really great things, and they're different."
Yes.
What are we doing now?
Right.
It's different.
Exactly.
So don't lose hope. Just keep doing it, and
Absolutely. I mean, I consider the both of you, you know, just incredible paranormal investigators, and definitely.
So you weren't going to make me cry.
Oh, I'm sorry. But true though. I look up to you, and it's, you know, it's the great memories that we've had only a couple of times, but there'll be more, because I really want to come out when things get better and investigate with you guys and go to some fabulous places, because there's so many on my list of Midwest places. It's crazy. So, all right. So we have a few minutes left in the show. I know there's COVID right now and things are at a standstill, but any events coming up that you want to talk about, or any, you know, your social media channels that you want to plug?
In February, I am doing Dead Winter for Troy.
Cool.
I'm gonna do talk about the Estes Method.
Perfect.
And I'm doing my thing for Troy again, doing the investigations. We've got Beller House again this year. We've got Madison County Seminary, which is a new one for me.
Fantastic.
Still have Monroe House, still have Randolph County. Those are my old go-tos. Yeah. So I've got the same stuff coming up this year. And if we can't get together in person, we're going to do remotes because
there you go. Yeah.
They work.
They do.
They work.
Yeah, absolutely. Why not? Right.
Yeah.
We're trying to get maybe a couple going.
And if you're in Indiana, buy a house.
I meant to tell you, congratulations on that. I have a lot of my family on my dad's side are in real estate. So
yeah,
it's pretty cool, really cool field. So you sure will. I mean, there's some pretty homes out there. That's for sure.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Nicole, I cut you off.
Oh, no, that's okay. We've been looking in Mackinac Island up in Michigan. There's some cool locations.
Okay.
We were thinking maybe in fall, going up there a couple nights. So that's on our bucket list. So maybe finally this year.
Yeah.
But yeah, just some local things that pop up.
Hopefully back to Will County.
Yes. I haven't heard anything from them yet, so I don't know if I scared them away.
No.
No.
Lisa did.
So funny.
No, they're great there. They're a funny team. They have like a believer and a non-believer, so it's kind of funny. They have like a yin.
Oh, that's always a good mix. Yeah.
So, it's funny because the non-believer, I'm like, hey, how you doing? He's like, how's it going? And I'm like, you really don't want to know because this is what happened. And he's like, oh God.
Oh my gosh, it's so funny. And it's so funny too. They'll be like, oh, no, it's gonna happen. Then of course, yes, it does. And you just want to
we're like, come on. We're like, come investigate. He's like, no. It is what it is. So.
Oh my God, I love it. I love it so much. I would love to have you guys back on in the future for sure.
Absolutely.
So we'll go ahead and book that. Thank you so much for coming on tonight. It was so much fun talking with you guys. We'll need to keep in touch for sure. Oh, I can't believe I haven't seen you since 2011. Like, hello. Crazy. So, but again,
check out our website, ghostly-voices.com.
Fabulous.
Lots of good, and if you don't like Estes, there's a lot of EVP evidence. So
that's for sure. And then American Spectral Society.
.com, yes.
AmericanSpectralSociety.com, another great website with some great investigators as well. So thank you, Nicole and Lisa, for joining me tonight.
Thanks for having us.
Yes, have a good, because I know the weekend's coming up, so have a fabulous weekend. Next week, we're going to be talking with, I think it's next week, the great-granddaughter of one of the original caretakers of the Winchester Mystery House. So that's going to be a fantastic interview. So thanks for tuning in, listeners. Thanks for tuning in. And I want to leave you with this one last note. Here at the Afterlife Chronicles, we are bridging the gap between mortality and the afterlife, one experience at a time. Thank you for tuning in and have a great night.